Hey guys, welcome to the Test Your Skill Cup. This is day 7 and we'll be casting two games today. One between Mr. Assk and E.Go or E.Go, and the second game will be between Mr. Assk and DarkAgeTV underscore AOE. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to cast yesterday's games due to some technical issues. So what I'll do is once these games are done, I can actually start casting yesterday's games. And I've had some look at the games that were played yesterday, and they actually are pretty interesting. So yeah, let's get to it. Game one today. Okay, so they are actually in the lobby already. I believe they should be starting in a couple of seconds. Okay, it seems they've gone live. Okay, they haven't. Fair enough. Also, I just like to tell you guys one more thing. I am trying out 1080p streaming today. So if you guys have any issues with the stream or any sort of feedback that you would like to give, please feel free to do that. I am basically trying a 1080p at 30 fps stream. If the performance is good enough, I think I can actually bump it up to 60 fps from tomorrow. So yeah. Okay, interesting. So they'll be playing on ng underscore surma map, and I believe it was random saves, although it's showing up as Berbers and Goths over here. Let's see what they plan to do. Anyways, if you are talking about the players, so E.Go or E.Go is currently at 1200 elo. I actually just had a look at his profile a couple of minutes ago. He seems to have crossed into the 1200s. I remember playing against him on in ranked matches, and at the time I think we were both in the 1100 region. So he seems to have actually gone up a notch, and yeah, good for him, man. He's gone into the 1200s now. Hopefully that represents some level of challenge for Assk over here. Hey Nanda, welcome to the stream today. And the browser being the browser, I am unable to find the game on either tab at this point. Okay, I believe they might have gone live. An express tournament. Uh, Sounds interesting. Uh, so yeah, I mean you can just post up about the tournament on the server. I'm sure you'll be able to get some sign-ups. And I assume they'll be played on the maps that you've created. So yeah, it should be fun. Okay, yeah. So they've gone live. Let's go. Okay, so it is Berbers versus the Gods. Anyway, this is the infamous Solma map where okay, you're picking an already made map. Nice, nice. So yeah, anyways, it's the infamous NJ underscore Surma. The players seem to want to fight over the middle at usually their own cost, but should be interesting to watch. And let me just try and change my overlay. Thanks Alpha Omega. So yeah, uh, I believe I actually saw one of Ask's villagers. Yep, there she is. So some shenanigans are about to happen over here. Whether it's just walling up the middle or maybe sending a villager forward to claim some resources. Although Ask seems to be the sort of guy who pings you your own location, or rather the location of your herdables, in case you don't manage to actually find them, as was the case in my match versus him. However, E.Go already has a scout in the middle over here. I'm not sure if he actually managed to find that villager over there. Okay, so the first palisade wall is just about to go up, and I mean, otherwise, there's not much to talk about at this point. There hasn't been any sort of real aggression yet from either of the players. And as I say that Mr. Assk has been housed here. And since he's playing as the gods, you don't actually have to do loom. So that was an idle TC basically for 25-30 seconds or so. And E.Go just brings in his bow. So surprisingly, it's actually E.Go with the villager lead at this point. Although I'm not sure that's gonna last for very long. And E.Go has actually spotted that villager here. I think she basically managed to wall up and not only save the villager but deny the center to E.Go. Yeah. So at this point she's safe. I don't think, yeah. So none of the players have actually started collecting the deer yet. Assk just seems to be interested in walling up and denying those resources to E.Go.
Yeah.
Oh, oh,
Azul.
that's not a very good board over there. E.Go actually, I think he forgot about his villager over there. So yeah, I don't think that bow is going to end up under the TC. Oh yeah, okay, so that's nice. Although what's surprising to me here is Assk seems to want to put up his first mill over there. Considering the fact that he's been so aggressive with walling up the center, I would have figured that he would have just made the mill over there and started collecting the deer rather than waiting for the berries to finish up. And okay, so Assk is finally collecting the sheep on the edges of the map. Let's see what his scouting is like. Okay, fair enough. So he hasn't actually wasted a lot of time scouting the middle of the map or his opponent yet. He's basically found the edges of the map, whatever sheep he can collect, and I think he's just about to head towards E.Go's base. Yeah. And let's look at E.Go scouting now. Okay, that's. I mean, fair enough. He seems to be just running a scout round. He has not found any extra sheep at this point, and I believe he's actually run out of whatever herdables that were available on the map. So yeah, at this point his villagers are just completely idle. He's having to basically move them over to wood. Although he does have the food required to click up to feudal age. So I think once again we can see here that the player who is the challenger seems to not have practiced the map entirely, or I mean that's basically what it looks like at this point. Once the game is over, I think we can just talk to him and ask him what his plan was. Okay, so I think Assk seems to have been able to wall up completely, and he's finally moving his villagers into the center to collect some deer. Although E.Go will be in feudal age much quicker. So, I mean, let's see what he actually plans to do. He can go for scouts. Being the Berbers, they get the cheaper stable units. So, yeah, he should actually be able to make a couple of scouts at this point. However, his food income is pretty bad. And as I say that, Assk moves in with his drush. So that will cause some idle time over here to these villagers. And unfortunately, the barracks isn't up, so queuing the scouts will take a short amount of time. And the other thing is, he does not have the wood to actually make a stable. So yeah, I mean, this is looking pretty bad for him. I think the second lumber camp was a mistake over here. Because if he hadn't made the second lumber camp, he would have had the 100 wood to place a stable basically now. And yeah, he's basically having to defend with spears at this point. He can't make the militias because Assk has not only the numbers but the cheaper militias as well. So it won't be a cost-effective trade. And yeah, I think he's basically just kicking himself at this point that he can't make a stable and just get some scouts out. And yeah, okay, so he's severely lacking in the wood at this point. I think he made another mistake by getting double bit axe. If he hadn't, I think he would have had the wood for a stable. Okay, so yeah, he's just got two spears at this point. And meanwhile, Assk is just parading around with his militias over here. I think he's basically just trying to scout at this point because quite a bit of damage has already been done. He has a 3 villager lead. He has the bigger military, and once he gets to feudal age, I think these are going to turn into man-at-arms, unless he has some other plans, of course. And meanwhile, he's already in the middle, collecting a shitload of food from the deer. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty bad. He has the wood now. He can actually place a stable. Let's see if he actually plans to make a stable somewhere. And yeah, so Mr. Assk finally has his militias. I mean, they've now become man-at-arms. So yeah, the food intake is being restricted. These villagers are being idled constantly. Not only that, he hasn't actually. I think if he had just walled up maybe to the edge of the map over here, he could have had some safe area to collect wood or gold. But yeah, he's being denied both those resources at this point. It's only the farmers that are actually working constantly. And these spears are doing nothing. If you just take a look at Assk's base, what is this? Oh, he has already clicked up a castle age. So I think this should be a pretty quick game. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, these walls won't work because there's a massive opening here. I think he's just about realized that he has to wall up, so he's made the house walls over here. But there's still a gap over here where the military can basically just waltz in whenever they want. I do wonder why he actually hasn't built a stable yet. There has been no military production apart from the couple of spears that he made, and yeah, he does not seem to be interested in making anything else. Meanwhile, Assk has sent another villager out to the side of his base, and he has 2 more barracks being queued up. So I think we are about to look at Goth infantry spam. Should be starting in a couple of minutes, I guess. I mean, sooner than that, obviously. He's already getting the infantry upgrades. He's got the first armor upgrade now. No attack upgrade yet. I mean, he has the food. If he wants, he can just get forging at this point. But I think what he's more interested in is just getting to castle age, getting the second armor upgrade, and running under the TC to snipe a few villagers. Okay, so he actually decides to make a spear. No villagers have been queued at this point, which is pretty interesting. And there's a siege workshop being built right outside E.Go's base. Does E.Go know about the siege workshop? Okay, so he does know about it. He has scouted with his scout before it went down. But yeah, I mean, I think he's basically trying to get to castle age before he offers any form of aggression. But I don't believe that is the right play here, because he's completely dead at this point. He has the larger villager count, but there's no military, and even if he actually manages to get to castle age, there's not a lot that he'll be able to do. Okay, and he still hasn't clicked up. Yeah. this is looking like a